Okay, and we are back in Factorio. And it is time for us to start working on petroleum stuff. Make sure I've got a clean hotbar here. I've got some new blueprints that I've been working out. We have uh, getting the oil field is always a little bit squirrely, working out where to put all of the pipes and everything. And then I had to work out a loading station, and we'll get to that. And there's the unloading station, which is kind of crazy. And I need, there's my intersection that I worked out last time, and there's the corresponding T-junction for the north and south inside the main grid. Remember, this is right-hand drive left to right and left-hand drive north to south. This can be rotated 180 degrees. It cannot be rotated 90 degrees. So, oil. There's oil. We need to put in some grid. Let's see. I believe that these cells, I don't know whether these are old. These cells are with the new signaling. Hey, no, they aren't. They aren't. They aren't. They aren't. Those are old signaling. So first thing in the order of business is to replace this cell with the new signaling. So we're going to bring that up, and I need to put in some helpers here to help me get this re-signaled. We're going to leave the signals in the middle there. We should be able to see them here. There we are. And we have the pluses out here. And this guy should be set to snap to grid 180. That's correct. So there's our correctly signaled area. So I want this to be, I want to have it on both of my things. So let's start out with, this is new cell. We're going to put it in my inventory. We are going to select new contents. Just all of that. Cell for, I mistyped it anyway. This is for 3.8 trains. And we're going to call this V2. V2, so boom, boom. And I'm just going to put in V2. So first, this goes into game blueprints. That actually obsoletes this resignal. We have a main crossing V2. We also have this T-junction no north. So this, we need to make a copy of it for the main blueprints. We have main crossing V2, and we need a T-junction no north. Create a copy for there. Okay, I shouldn't have any blueprints in my inventory. Let's grab game blueprints here. These are the new stations we're putting down. There's our curve. There's our cell. Plus crossing. T crossing. We need to put down a fluid depot. We're actually going to need two of these. We're going to need one for 3/8, and we're also going to need one for 1/4, which I will have to copy from the other depots. Okay, so now we're ready to go. Let's kill this off. Well, actually, I need to kill off this rail in the middle here, but the rest of them are good. So we pull up. Where do I put it? Here? Here. That one. There. So I believe that there's room in here, so I only need to use these two cells for my oil. So we're going to kill this off. In fact, I'm going to just snatch all the way from here to here, because this is a T-headed south, it's a T-headed north. Now, did I leave enough room for this? Now, worst case, I could redesign this and put the station somewhere else, but this is good. Now, inputs and outputs. As we saw with the smelters, having additional parking on the input is not a bad thing if your input trains are coming from far away. However, in this case, our input trains are coming from the depot, which we can put fairly close. In fact, I'm going to just put it over here. Let's run that out and just do it. There we go. So there's our depot is going to be here. Let's put the tag in for now. So this is LTN depot number. I think I was using. Let's use 16K and 32K. We use 32K for the. We use 32K for the 3/8 trains. And this gets the depot sign. And the, oops, oh, I wanted to put it up here. Delete. Add tag. Wish I could move these. You go here. So this is going to be the depot for crude oil, which is going to have to go out to anywhere we are making, getting crude oil, including here. And then it will come back to where we're processing it, which I think I'm going to start it up here somewhere. And then it'll come back to the depot. Okay, so let's yeah, let's extend ourselves up here. Wow, this is, yeah, we get a lot of lag putting these down because these guys have a big radar in them. And Factorio does a lot of work when we put these down. Okay. So with this much, I also need an LTN depot with 1-4 trains. And those trains are going to come from our processing area and they're going to head down below. They're going to come back up. So, actually, add tag. Let's stretch it out further. The 3/8 train's up there, and I'm going to put the 1-4s down here. Make sure I mark these as fluid. So there's our planning. And I'm thinking that this column right here, so we'll put our refining starting here. Yeah. I have no idea how much space I'm putting. So oil, refineries, petroleum products. Make this a nice neutral thing. We are inputting our crude oil here. I am going to start listing the products out in the order that we are going to build them, and I will move these tags, well, redraw these tags later. Lubricant. Hack. You know what? No. Now I will label after I place the stuff. I would hate to have a whole list of things here and then have it not align and have to move all of them down over and over and over again. Okay. Oh, we can dismiss these from the to-do list. Add tag, crude oil pump jacks, crude oil source. I am going to make this icon. Oh, let's make the icon the crude oil here. This really should be. What are we doing here? We are doing refinery work. Let's put the refinery in here instead. We'll have real labels for the things we're building. So that's where we're putting things. Again, I busted this guy, so let's fix him. He's the T-junction. Like that. So next thing is, do I want to start by putting in the depot and then the crude oil? What's really tempting here would be to have this depot have its own local construction of solid fuel to fuel its oil trains. Because this depot is just for crude oil. And it'd be really cool if we had our own independent supply of fuel that didn't depend on rocket fuel working. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's have some fun with that first. And we can we'll come back and finish the crude oil field up once we've got that. So the depot looks something like this normally. It's got some trains. I put those in the blueprint already. The difference is that this station is going to go away and be something completely different. We're going to be requesting crude oil in and then making a supply of solid fuel from crude and then having the robots send out the solid fuel. So let's see here. Make it big. We need a new factory, which is on site solid fuel. Really? Okay. So what we want is we want to make let's go solid fuel. I have no idea how much we're going to want. What we really want, though, is we want to balance the solid fuel a little bit of each type. So I put this back to traditional, and it's still very confused. So let's see about this. Let's start with that. Now, if we wanted to do this, actually, hold on. We could just use basic oil processing here. What would we get from one oil refinery feeding one chemical plant? Probably a whole lot. Let's even delete these guys. So I want to divide this by 3.7. So 500 divided by, well, if we ask for 100. Well, how about 120? So 2 solid fuel per second. That still requires quite a bit. To divide that by 5, let's make that 24. What if I go for 20? Yeah. So that's got to build. This will be modest. We don't actually use up fuel very fast. What if I module these guys with productivity? No, I think I'm just going to build it casually. So this guy goes away. Instead, he needs to request in a train is the appropriate size for what he wants to build, and with the appropriate stuff. And he is going to have a lead out that heads out this way and up. So yeah, we are at this point winging it. Kind of the fun part of Factorio, if you ask me. So if we do this, give ourselves a nice long lead out. Come on. Hands on the right keys there. Kill off everything here. Oh, and I also need to correct this. This is 32768. Yeah, we requested those trains in, and now they're going to go away because that station no longer exists. Welcome to my world. 32768 fluid. It is a fluid train with 3 engines and all those guys. And we are network ID 32768. So those trains are going to go back somewhere, and they're going to have to be unloaded because I screwed up. So these depots, I think, did I have these set up to... I literally do not remember whether these stations were set up to harvest or not, but I believe they were. I believe they unload excess stuff. I better put a radar in and check that out. Yeah, okay, these actually actively unload and recycle, so I don't need to worry about that. We're not recycling from our 3.8 train, so that's why I worry. Okay, so we've got our 3.8 fluid train, and I need enough space in here to park a train. And what I'd like to do is do a couple of them. Let's Let's actually set ourselves up with some useful things on the hotbar. Okay, so first of all here, use my finger to put that in place. So got space for a train there. Realistically, we'll only ever have one train in here. Is that the spot? That's the spot. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the actual train stop right there. So we've got the train stop, we've got rollout 1, rollout 2, and so if for some reason we got a whole bunch of trains coming through here, that's where they will be. And let's see, station. Logistic train stop is here. He will be requesting in crude oil. And he is not yet. LTN stop? Yes, LTN stop. And I need a... Where'd it go? Here it is. Constant combinator here that I will use to configure him. Now, his configuration will be similar to these guys. So I haven't connected it up yet. But he is going to be requesting crude oil. And he is going to be requesting 8 full wagons, 8 full tankers. So that is per train. So the 200K, I'm getting about 200. About 200. There's something weird about this. You get a little bit less than 200K. So we're going to want to have 300 in our... We're going to want to have 300 in our buffers. And our request threshold is going to be half that. That needs to be negative, so it's a request. And we are on network 32768. And, train consist changes. Length of the train is 11. This is 2040 for the binary bits, which are 8 bits left shifted by 3, also known as 255 times 8. And this is going to be a 7. So this will request the same kind of trains we should be seeing over here. Let's take a look at these stations. Very similar. I do need to correct the network IDs on these. These are set to okay, so we can output whenever we have over 200K. We want to bump that up a little bit because scraping the last unit out of the guys is hard. So we'll want to bump these up and change the ID, but the 7 and 2.0K-ish is correct. So now we want to unload. Well, we have an unloading station here. It's just overkill. So this is correct, but I want my oil coming out to the right. Oh, and that's just going to feed directly into my local production, so we can just trim that off just like that. There. So what I worked out before was a request threshold of 200K and a actual request of 350K. Let's bump this down. Oh, I did want to do it in terms of full trains, though. Because we can't send a partial train. If we do send a full train when we wanted a partial train, then the timeouts we've got set will have it just sitting there. I guess that's okay. So there's our station. I can just put that right in place here. Let's trim off those guys. So we want to maintain 300K. We want to refill when we're half full. And the transfer amount is going to be slightly less than a full train. So we're going to get full trains because we can't stop pumping. Our pumps are not set to do that. And we want to make sure we have enough. So if we're at 150K and we get a full train coming in and we go extra, then this has still got enough juice. Okay. Now I am going to just do that because I am kind of lazy. And now we put in our fuel station. And I am going to cheese this. Why did that not go down? Oh, there's a... Yeah. Hold on. Boom. Whoops. That's not good. How can I repair that? That guy like that. Let's make absolutely sure. There. I think these are all hooked up. Okay. So if we put down oil refineries here, and they can get supported from the left, and he's just doing basic oil processing. I do not want to depend on anybody for anything else. I am going to put in productivity modules. Oh, I'm not. Let's make this dead simple. Can I align these? Does it fit between those? These and other interesting questions. So if I run one oil refinery per wagon, and then we run, say, 2 chemical plants per wagon, and these are going to be producing solid fuel. And these outputs like this. And these are passive dividers, which I'm going to limit to 1 stack each. There we go. Okay, so now we need to extend our logistics spots down. Like that. So I don't know what rate we're actually going to get out of this. Max rate calculator says that we have we are about 10 refineries short of keeping all of those guys busy. So whatever, that's fine. I am willing to take that hit. What if I put speed modules in them? Would that change things? And what if I put productivity modules in the other guy? They are. Okay, that's a little better balanced. We end up with more machines making petroleum gas than we need. That's fine. And our output is quite a lot of solid fuel. So this is likely to burst solid fuel very rapidly, which is what I want. I'm going to put some extra buffering on the petroleum here so that we can burst it. We can fill this up and support a higher burst rate out the other end. So if I turn this on, let's make sure that our mods are set. At one point, I turned LTN off. I said, LTN, please stop hitting me with messages. I'm hoping that now we have resolved all of our iron and copper issues so we don't get any more LTN messages about it. Now we'll see. So I'm going to turn this on. No train to transport fluids found at depots skipping fluid processing. Okay, so depot number 32768. It should say not no depot, but no oil. So this guy is set to 32768. And if I look in here, oh, I need to fix these names as well. Oh, and I almost had the same fuel problem here that I had earlier. There we go. This is 32768A, read 8 fluid. Did we get all the names set? Yep. Okay, so let's make sure that we didn't get any weirdness. I think we are having problems with our rocket fuel deliveries still at some point. No train to transport fluids found at depots. But I have trains here. Depots. Status 18 trains. 18. Because these guys are set to manual. So Control Shift Z. There. Now we're all set to automatic. And now the complaint should be nobody's supplying crude oil. That's great. That's exactly what we want. Okay. So now we need to go over here and get our crude oil station going. Once we have our crude oil station going, it'll be pulling the crude back to the depot, which will then be making solid fuel to fuel the trains so that they can deliver more fuel to the depot. Now those trains, when I lead them down, they actually are requesting rocket fuel in, and they have an initial supply of rocket fuel inside them. So we're going to need to fix that as well. Requester overconfidently changeable lock. Oh, yeah. Okay, my requester names are a bit wild, and sometimes they are going to be expressive. It's adjective, adverb, adjective, noun is my randomness. So this guy is going to be stretching all the way back here and picking up from this like that. I never did build my straight line parking area meter. Let's build one. So this guy goes all the way back to finger on it. Here. Yeah. So from here back to here, and in order to allow for curves, I'm not sure I can put a curve on that end. There we go. So this is parking scale meter 3 to 8. Back. There we go. And we're going to put one of these in right here. So this station, these two stations can request in 3 trains. So 3 trains can stack up trying to grab stuff. Let's fix them. the provide threshold is going to be 250 to make sure that we have more than enough to deliver to a train. Max trains is 3, that's good, and we are stationed 32768, and those are correct. There we go. Now this needs to go back out and down here. Just like that. And I am going to signal that up to a fare thee well. And I'm way over signaling all of that. So now we're ready to go, and I'm ready to drop power in. So that I can't quite stretch a honest full power line up there. What I will do is I'll just put that in like that. And here comes the Crude. Let's put that to gain speed 3. And notice we already have a train coming in because we already have... Whoops. Provide threshold is 250K. That should not have provided. Okay, I am really super confused. Oh, it's not connected up. So it's providing at 1000, which is the default. Yeah, okay, that's the other thing I need to remember to always check, is that my configurations are actually connected up. Okay, so now we should be sitting here doing nothing until it fills up. Okay, LTN delivery. Okay. Just to make absolutely sure I haven't messed anything up. How are my sciences flowing? I'm pretty sure that if any science is staying good, they all have to be good. And I really wish they wouldn't jump around like that while I'm trying to turn them on and off on the graph. These are all good. Okay, so whatever we're getting alerted about is not actually a problem. So this is now at just short of 400K. We have stuff available. I'm going to go into inventory. I'm going to see that we have just short of 400K available here. And 200K is in transit. What I see is we have a train sitting here. So we actually have 400K on each one of those stations. Why is it not showing them both? Probably because this station is badly configured. Yeah, okay. Lower station badly configured, gotta remember that. So these guys should be draining this train into these. And indeed, we completely filled up our storage tanks. So this says we have 395K in stock. And this train got filled up all the way when it was supposed to, so it will sit here waiting until we have drained it. I am going to put some more petroleum on here. This should be enough buffering for anybody. Total overkill, but it did mean that we could dismiss that train. So let's go fix that other station. So for this episode, I'm not actually going to get into petroleum processing, but I will have done the depot that handles the crude oil, plus the crude oil, plus the construction of fuel for the crude oil trains. And now for this guy, oh, come on, game speed 1, get out of that guy. And we need to disconnect that and instead connect that. So now we should see that we will see that we have more crude coming in. 399, 399. Not sure how often this updates. So this station is mostly grotesque sheep. Is the one that was weird, and there it is. Okay, so we're caught up now. The inventory shows almost 800K, 799,968. So we now have our supply of crude oil, which fills up quite fast, actually. Let's take a look at the 1 hour fluid transit. Notice that our crude oil was being pumped at almost 320,000 per minute for quite a while here. So we can whip out that crude oil. So 300,000 per minute is by 65,000 per second. I think that's 5,000 per second. Okay, so that's got that. So I am going to prepare for building petroleum products next, and we will put that in the next video.